Coming to you live at 0800 hours, Monday, July 15, 2019. If you don't know your history, it will repeat itself. Because what will happen, your children will forget what happened. They will get comfortable and they will do exactly what got us in the same situation. Right now, we're putting ourselves in the same situation. The way slavery happened and how things going. Good morning, coming to everybody. Good morning. Good morning, family. Hope you had a great weekend. You were safe. So as I was saying is, this way slavery happened. Nobody want to take account of this. And this is what I hate about a lot of people that talk about history. We always go into the part we know is evil, but what about the lessons that came throughout the time that slavery happened? How did we get conquered? And nobody talks about it. That's how I know that I don't want to use certain words. I want to do certain things. I don't want to say certain things because that's going to repeat. And if my child or my niece and nephew, my nieces, then my nephew, then my male cousins and my female cousins, the young men and women of my family, they don't know, then how would we stop history from repeating itself? This is what I understand. It's not train a child on where they should go. It's guide and challenge a child on the way they will know. Not train a child on the way they should go. Guide and challenge a child on the way they will know. I gotta write that down. So I want to go over some things throughout history that we don't talk about. And why is that such an importance to us? Because we don't want it to repeat. We want them to be better. We want them to own and have things. They came to our women first. Look at history. What changed? Every time a woman wants change, it changes, right? When a man wants change, it takes a battle. It takes a fight. So men, we have to fight and battle. And the one thing is, and I was just talking about it, I didn't do the video because I went into another part and I made the video longer, is how we're competing with our women for our professions and business now. People say you're not competing because a woman. No. If majority of one race of woman, we're the only race where our women, half of them have. Don't say because we're not taking care of them, because you got to remember, slavery was started because they came to the woman. They didn't come to the man. If you notice anything, pay attention, because we don't want to pay attention to truth. Pay attention to how you do it. Go up to a woman that can make $1 billion. I guarantee you, a man that make 2 cents can get her. Go up to a man that make $1 billion. I guarantee you, less times than so, that a woman that make 2 cents won't be able to even approach that man. Or that woman don't come from a family of nobility or prestige, because he has no reason to intertwine with her. But see how they told us, well, you can get with a woman. But we did it because slavery. Because of our women went to the other side. It was okay at first because we actually had what we call friends. And so I'm gonna do all these separately. I'm gonna go over some real quick. Sagging, which originated through slavery, they would not give the men belts. So with the men not having belts, you can't run away. So they make their pants bigger than what they are, give them bigger clothing, so they can't run away. And then, of course, you can't run. Okay, and there was at that time we didn't have ways to make belts or to keep our pants up, so that kept us. And then over time, it played into homosexuality, which they used towards sagging to let the men know that they were gay. This is easy access through prison and through how to dominate a man. Another thing is our last names. They added the word, they used to call us boys. Because you know why they called us boys? Why you think we were given names during slavery time? Buck, Mandingo. And nobody want to take, and I don't know why, I don't know where people get their research from. And people ask me where I get my research from. I say through the Spirit, because I don't know how you're not noticing this. If you keep digging, and I actually do study, I study some so I can, because I want to piece the parts of history they want to take out. So if you have some religious structure you're reading, there's some history in there. That's why that's happening. Don't say, well, this is evil. It's going to come a time. No, the time already came. That stuff you're reading is not new. It's not new. It happened already. And we're because we keep, if you keep saying something, keep calling yourself negative word all the time, and then call yourself a positive word. Use a negative word that's not really part of your life. Call yourself that for almost 3 months and see how you will feel. Is it not working? But people don't think as that. That's why I don't say I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I don't even read the poems. I don't listen to the spoken words, because those are good people that's doing it, but they don't understand what they're even doing when they're doing that. So I'm not going to make a poem. And it's some good poems. My one lady friend, she has a good poem, or associate, whatever we want to call her. And we talk. She made a PTSD poem. It was a great poem, but I don't have to claim it. That's not. I wasn't born with that. That's not an element. I can breed it, but I'm not born with it. And so when we use the word boy, that was because all that they killed. Now, I don't know why nobody know this part either. They killed the men. Those men that was getting on a boat, they wasn't men. They were boys. They were young males. They killed the adult males. See, they didn't have to kill the adult women, because women are about survival. They're about fertility. That was their sons. So they would say, I'll kill your son. Listen, I kill your son, because we know how we pray, the son, and who we call the son. I'll kill your son. They thought highly of their sons. You don't really think highly of the man, because he's the protector and provider. He was that's why how military came apart. He's expendable. So in a sense, because I have his seed is here, his son, his seed, son, seed, and so these were sons. And then what happened? They didn't think about this. There wasn't enough males. They was killing the males because they had to make examples. Because these young men, and maybe there were like such as maybe 1% were men, but these men probably wasn't the men that had the children. That didn't have. So these men probably seen them and didn't really fight. And not saying they were chumps or punks. It's just that wasn't in their DNA. They probably were guys that did the medicine. They didn't practice how to kill. We'll do medicine, but if you don't get nobody to take medicine, you can't really stop them from doing what they're doing. And of course, they didn't accept our medicine. They just tried to figure out why and they took it and asked, and then they learned from him. Because it's like, well, I hurt your people. Because a lot of the times those guys are well-mannered, in which we see a lot of us have. That's why when they start studying animals and beasts and fowls of the air, they start learning the alpha, the zeta, the beta, and the omega, and the gamma, the psi. They start learning our that's not even up from us. That's from Greek standard alphabet. But then they start adding things. That's how translations, semantics, and linguistics happen. They were adding different things. They say this is how we can control them. That was the whole thing. It was to come in, conquer, and control us, correct? Correct. And that's what they did. And that's they succeeded and they needed more males. So they would take the mandingos and the bucks. Those were young boys, your young men that was only 16, 15, and 14, but was my height. They was 6'5" and muscular. They forced them have sex with the women. And then some of the women, they had girls too. So sometimes it was easier because that was brother, boyfriend, and girlfriend. When they would have the child, they would take the child away. And the way daycare and nurseries came about, which come on, y'all gotta know this information. Teach your children, guide your children to this. I'm gonna do separate ones. I'm gonna do it throughout the rest of the year and have separate ones and explain them directly. Daycare, in the zoo, the nursery. So I'm first do the nursery, in the clinics. was for the women to nurse those children. And they would purposely get them pregnant. So now their girlfriends or wives, white women didn't raise their children. We did. That's why white men love black women. Duh. See, and if you could tell me I sound stupid and dumb, then ask me how a white woman can raise a white man, and we would call him a great man, but a African descendant. We're going to use black because we're talking about slavery. A black woman can raise a black man, and we don't want him no more. Think about that. I even hear the women. So they had the nurseries and the clinics they use to nurse the white kids and also to breed us so we can have more slaves. And another one was zoo. The zoo was created to be a spectacle. The dark-skinned little girl was walking around. They just throwing money at her, just walking. They was fascinated. These white people that never seen the super dark black person, they called us pure. They called us white because we was pure. We wasn't having all these sexual urges and things. Once we start intermingling and interracializing, which first we was being colonized, if you knew the history of your religions, you wouldn't even practice those religions. Sorry, for me, anything that have a negative or that come from to me, if you having sex with little boys and eventually it was having sex with little girls, stop saying they was only having sex with boys. They was with little males. They was having with baby males. They was having sex with baby females. They were doing that too. There were women of perversion. You know how I know that's the truth? I'm watching in the city I'm from, Buffalo, New York. I'm watching it's a lot of gay women. I'm watching on these YouTubes and Instagram. There's a lot of gay women. There's gay men. There's a lot of gay women. I meet them. I meet a gay woman once a day. If I go outside, I am bound to meet a gay woman. Don't say he's down low. A lot of men don't even have sex yet. You would be shocked how many young men still have their virginity and how many young women don't have their virginity. You know why? Because the younger women the fathers are not there. Why the fathers not there? They never was there throughout history. We always say we had a community. No, we didn't. Black Wall Street was not a community. If it was a community, think about this. My community, I seen in my dream, which if I know that people are against us, I had guards in my community. We even questioned the police that looked at us. Like, what you doing here? And you going into a man-wife house. We guarded each other. That man not home. Why is it another man? What, you a doctor? You got some ID? You got some license that you're gonna need license to come in. People like and our children can be safe. So if it's a woman in that communalized area, we can have several daycares because it's going to be many or multiple kids. We all going to have enough to go around to do work and to have businesses, to enterprise, and maybe one building where all these women can get. And it's not a structure where, oh, you get paid more than me to know. It's going to be based on your work, your merit, and we are going to be okay with that. I'm not saying everybody's going to be around because it's going to be a community. It may not be a full-blown community. It could be a micro community. Because we know everybody don't want that. Some people want to, but we're going to be teaching our children the history they should know. There's a lot more history I want to go over, and that's just to have you think. Show your child. Show your child who created. We talk about we built these buildings. Go look up I got to look up who the people are. Who built these buildings? What's their name? How do they look? I remember I seen a picture of these guys. They built this bridge. I can't think of the bridge. It was here near I want to say the Canada Bridge to Canada or one of those bridges. And it was funny because back then that's when slavery was still going on. They was paying us at lower wages. That's why people don't know. Forget affirmative action. That's where the Department of Labor came from. Department of Labor. They wasn't paying people good wages, but it started because of us. Stop saying because of everybody. And that's the one thing we got to stop doing. Stop saying everybody. If I walk in a building and somebody treating me different and they not treating everybody else different and I didn't say nothing or do nothing, that's not everybody. That's you. I'm not oblivious to the things that's going on. I'm not gonna change words. Is it racism? Is it war? Is it poverty? What's three you want to use? I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that's gentrification, that's colorism. No, is it racism? Is that gentrification, poverty? We have enough rich people to make a community. We got enough. We have enough everything right now to stop anything that's in inequality or that's against us, because we can come together, the people. And I learned this, and even with the women, we got enough good men to have great communities. That's the regular guys. That's not part of the so-called 1% of African descended people in America are rich, or I guess, or I want to say the world. I want to say world. We got enough people, but you got to remember who pays them. Who pays them money? Who are their co-partners with? If till we have our own literal assets and resources, nothing won't change. I hope you learned some things. And what I'm going to do, I hope you did learn. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is do individualized ones. I didn't write anything down because it's a whole bunch of things that started from slavery, and we use gangs. We keep thinking gangs, but no, gangs, that came from slavery. Everything that you talk about now is old. Just because we're in the culture and we don't have our true understanding and sources of our history, that don't mean it's new or it came from us. I don't want to be known for evil. I'm not saying we didn't have anything, but the way they talk about it, we probably didn't. We probably did have we did have wars, but they were battles. That was to get the seat of the throne. We probably did kill, because sometimes it happened because you fighting. But that probably wasn't, that wasn't our goal, was to kill the king to become the king. It was to fight the king because we wanted to see the strongest. You went through obstacles of your emotions, your physicality, how strong you were, how strong you wasn't, your mentality, your brain power, and then you had the spirituality. If you didn't have fallen four things, you couldn't be king, because you would go against a man or a group that had those things. And of course, I don't want nobody to lead over me that couldn't have his spirituality. If he couldn't, because out of four, you probably had to win three. And see, we don't think and we don't talk about that. So if you want to make like the best example, I could say Black Panther. That's everything I see that looks good. Because I can't say we don't have no bad history before they came around. But I know we wasn't enslaving each other. I know we wasn't raping each other. I know we wasn't dominating women. I know our women weren't fighting against us. I know our women loved us. And the one thing I hate hearing today is African descendant women always supported men. No, it's not. No, they didn't. Because there's men right now there's men that was never supported. That's why they're don't want to be around. They keep to themselves. I'm one of them, but I'm not gonna complain about it. I already talked about that. So we gotta stop saying, "Oh, we support," and a lot of us show love. We don't get it back. We call it weird, creepy. Women are scared. They run away. I met women that cried that, "Wow, I never got treated. You treated me. I cared about her. I really care about the women I talk to and the women that's around me. I care about my mother or sister. Of course, I look at my mother different because I'm not. But when my mother hurt, I care. But it say such as she's a little older, and women that I see doing like as my sister, I don't worry. It's the women that I know I gotta go protect her. They're protected. I'm protecting them. But I don't have to go to a bigger or farther measure protect my mother and sisters. They have to guys that's in my family around them. So they're protected. They need more. They got me. So that's one thing I'm talking about. Even though this cliche of that statement was about the 60s, just keep you got a girlfriend. Protect her. Don't have her pregnant and working. I want to talk about that. So what I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. That's the thing. Choose wisely who you go around. Even in your own race, choose wisely. A woman said, "Oh, just because he had a baby with a dude with an idiot, he got a child already, or he messy a player, that don't make her not smart." I said, well, that's part of decision making. Smart has the word art in it. That's a painting. It's a picture you paint. She can look smart to you, but she damn sure may not be intelligent. or he ain't intelligent because he's walking around just using his penis as his work. So until we get to that understanding, then I don't know where we're gonna be at. But show your child, explain to your child history. They can love, but don't have them be oblivious to the world. That's it.